Welcome to NippyCast. This would be. I said I'm not gonna mention which volume anymore because some episodes or volumes we might recall them. Yeah?
Like we did the last volume.
Yeah, like the way the Paloni was recalled the other time with less stresses.
I know, the whole country.
So I don't know what volume it is. My name is DJ Nipro. This is Mega back again into NippyCast. This would be Back to the Future now. Today our topic is what? Antique. Antique, yes.
Yeah.
Antique is probably the dominance of the day today.
Retro and
Retro.
Retro,
Actually,
antique,
how does the retro thing come into the picture?
It just means something from the past.
But is that word in the dictionary?
But it will still be in the future because they'll say like, yeah, it's got a retro look, but it will be now. Like, it should be somewhere in the dictionary.
Is it there?
I think so.
And then vintage?
It's still there.
It's part of retro. So this Back to the Future has a lot of vintage retro and antique. Last time we talked about music, which is how about classic? Classical will also be part of Back to the Future, right? Classic, retro, antique, and what's the other one?
And vintage.
Wow. So these are things that probably happen over time.
Yeah.
And the reason why we decided to do this part of NippyCast is because we are trying to show you that nothing is new. Most of the things that we're currently doing now is driven by the past. For example, the first guy to invent a car.
There's this whole thing between Carl Benz and Henry Ford. Who was it? Was it Henry Ford? I think
apparently the Ford
guy was the guy. Henry Ford was the guy that invented the car. And then some history suggests that Carl Benz.
Should I Google it?
I think we should Google it.
Yeah. So maybe what's the topic? First car maker. But the Fords are there in the mix of things.
No. I believe that. I still believe it was Henry Ford.
Check.
I believe that Carl Benz came obviously now and modified, and
Carl Benz will be Mercedes-Benz.
Yes, Mercedes-Benz.
So who's Mercedes?
I don't know how it comes to the picture. But I know that his name was Carl Benz.
It's a valid question. I mean,
yeah, his name was Carl Benz.
Is it?
And the guy for Ford was Henry Ford.
Henry, yes.
Yeah, if my memory serves me well, still let's check.
Maybe
let's check it out here.
Check under oldest.
The first car inventor.
Yeah, car inventor. Yeah.
You see, now it will depend on who we find first on.
But I think
Google.
Wikipedia should have them. Try Wikipedia. Then let's just settle this once and for all before we go into the vintage stuff, because some of the
there you see they will show you Carl Benz. They're showing us Carl Benz, but now let's go and check.
Okay, so the year is what, 1885.
The first automobile on January 29th, 1886. Carl Benz applied for a patent for his vehicle powered by gas engine. The patent number was 37435. But now we are not sure. They say this is when he applied for the patent.
Patenting would mean that the odds are that maybe Ford didn't apply for patenting on time, but he probably had the material. He probably had cars before.
Yeah, it's just talking about Carl Benz, you see. It's talking about Carl Benz.
Yeah, but this just says that Carl Benz patented first. It doesn't mean that
he put his first patent.
It doesn't mean that he did it first.
Let's go and let's deliberately go and search for Henry Ford.
Okay, sure.
Let's see what happens.
His first patenting and what year? Say Henry Ford's.
Which year was this one? 1880?
1886 will be Carl Mercedes-Benz.
I'm going to look for Henry Ford.
Did you see what I did there? I gave him Carl, middle name Mercedes-Benz. I'm like, might as well.
His name is Carl Benz.
A very respectable car. I like their car. I used to have a Mac actually prior, before. An old Mac. I love the way.
I think a Mac is still my favorite even now. Yeah.
I like the way the design.
Henry Ford. There we go.
Yeah.
It says Henry Ford, July 30th, 1863, was an American industrial business magnate and founder of the Ford Motor.
So, but those are his age years, most. He was born then.
Was he born here?
Yeah. This looks like he was born 1863 and he passed on in 1947.
Oh, but when did he get this?
So we need to know what year he was patenting. And I hope we didn't do the same mistake with Carl Benz.
Let's check this.
Yeah.
1908.
Yeah, so Henry Ford came after.
Let's go and check if he didn't make a mistake on
No,
but it says he applied for his
for
patent.
patenting in the 1800s.
So Carl Benz is the man.
Yeah, so there, we're done. From retro, antique, classic, vintage of cars,
Okay.
Mercedes-Benz
I must say
is the shit.
Living to this age. And by the way, I love Mercedes-Benz.
Same here, like I was saying, I used to have a Mac,
but I've always known in my heart that Henry Ford had been the guy that was underrated, because in my heart, and from what memory serves, it's that he was the one who first, came up with an automobile, Henry Ford.
No, not really.
So now Carl Benz.
What are you heartbroken?
I'm a little heartbroken. I'm a little heartbroken.
Okay, because the reason we're talking about
Carl Benz is the man.
He's the one.
He's been the man. He's been the man from inventing.
In fact, why were you even trying to give this whole street cred to fucking Ford?
Because I've known the person that actually taught me this, and this was at school, by the way. Taught us that the underrated Henry Ford was the one that actually invented the first automobile. However, it looked as if there was this whole arm wrestling between him and Carl Benz.
Chances are that these guys were friends, eh? It's possible. Because the reason why we're talking about them now is because I was trying to prove that invention of the past.
This is 1886. This is
1908.
08.
Yeah. Why I was saying this is because the point of Back to the Future, antique, vintage, whatever you're going to call it, we're going to call this one antique, right?
Yeah.
This one, official name is antique on this one.
Yeah.
Because on the topic today, we're going to go into other antique pictures, and then we're going to show them to you, and then we're also going to share our memories of it. And then today, we're not going to play any music because last time we were blocked by YouTube. So, fuck music. But we can still talk about stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why we're saying it is because the wheel was probably invented
way much more
by somebody else, and then it also helped Carl Benz to start Mercedes-Benz, and then it also helped Ford, Henry Ford to start.
combustion engine. It was invented for something else,
which was not even for a car.
Yeah, and I think the first moving combustion was a train, if I'm not mistaken.
Or like on the railway, like a locomotive.
Yes, like a locomotive.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yes, but there was wheels.
Already wheels were, and invention of wheels comes a long way, man. It's like back to the future of a long time.
Exactly. So
just
today,
after dinosaurs, and then the research of humans. Because I want to believe that there were humans during the time of dinosaurs.
No, yeah, you think me? Let's check.
And I think that
when was the wheel done?
But this will not show us.
Say how old is the wheel?
Because first wheel invented, but they will not say that because in Africa we already had invented wheels, but then I guess we had not. We don't have this in
like a cart.
Yeah, because we've been using
like
carts,
a cart, like
a
like
goat cart.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think a horse cart.
Yeah.
And even like an ox cart.
Say when was the wheel discovered?
First wheel invented.
Because if you didn't have the wheel today, I wouldn't be able to come to your house because the car uses a wheel, right? Am I right? And then some of the things, even running this podcast here, some of the instruments inside the particular phone before it was evolved.
They say it was invented by Sumerians.
What year?
Sumerians. I mean, this Sumerians, man, let's go. Let's check. They say the wheel was invented in the 4th century BC.
Shit! That's before Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus came like...
Shit, the wheel is old.
No, but when Jesus came, the wheels were already there. Guys were rocking. That's why the Caesars were there. Must say, Romans were already doing their thing.
Shit, Jesus did not took this Back to the Future to 2,000 years ago. 2004.
Yeah, but we're talking about the retro, vintage, whatever.
Okay. So the wise men, when they were going to discover Jesus' place of birth, following the star up there, they were probably on a horse cart with a wheel.
Do they say in the Bible that?
Or donkeys? I don't know.
Hey,
do you think they were walking the whole time?
No, they were not.
There was a wheel there.
Yeah, no.
Somewhere, somehow. There's no way you can walk that long.
No, the guys, and they were following some North Star.
Some stars. So wise men, I think that the scientists of back then, which are like astrologists or astronomists of today, which is like the smart ones. They call them wise men. Okay, so let's not divert. Let's go back to the point of today. The topic is antique NippyCast with Mega. I think Mega is going to be a resident of this flashbacks.
I'm already resident. I mean, if you can see.
And he predicted.
This is retro on its own.
You are a retro.
I'm a retro.
And you did predict that maybe it looks like this NippyCast will be
the extension of the Back to the Future.
Back to the Future is the most broke podcast ever. I don't know. You're gonna send me an invoice or we're gonna have to look for sponsors.
Let's start making money, and then I will invoice you.
Or you're gonna invoice me later.
It will be Back to the Future in type
of invoice. Fuck.
Okay,
let's go into it. We've compiled pictures. Oh, by the way, there's a guy who helped me do this thing. I didn't mention where I got this from. It's a trigger that I got from my uncle. His name is Lucas Nesengani. He sent me a WhatsApp and I was like, wait a minute, this is a fucking Back to the Future topic, eh? And then you know what he said? He said, I'm going to send you an invoice.
So I guess he's going to have to invoice you there.
No, but there's no money.
So we
can only invoice later on. Cool. So this is what we're going to do. We've got a video here with pictures. And then we're going to discuss. I'm going to pause and then we talk about the ones that speak to you. We pause and then you share the memory with us. Yeah. And I'll also pause for the ones that speak to me as well, right? So it starts with what now? Here we've got anything that speaks to you.
The desk benches.
The benches.
What do they call it? Benches? Was it benches at school?
No, in Venda we used to call it desk.
We called it the desk a lot.
At
school. I remember we had this desk, primary school, this type of desk. My whole primary we had this type of desk. Where now the sitting part is actually attached to the actual part where you write the
on.
desk itself.
What is the desk? Is the desk the whole thing or even the sitting? Because I would assume that part is the sitting.
That's a sitting. That's a bench.
But it's connected.
That's a bench.
So it's a bench desk.
It's a bench desk.
Can I say that? Does that word exist?
I don't know.
We just made up a new word.
No, maybe it does exist. It's a bench desk.
Okay, so what's your memory? Back to the Future of it?
My memory is obviously school, you know. But my memory of school, especially my lower primary, because when I used to go to school, like I said, back then, you know, other podcast.
At Seko.
My lower primary, no, Seko was secondary.
Before that,
the benches had changed now.
You had these ones at primary school as well?
We had these ones at primary school. Yes.
Let me remember. We had primary. But on the lower one,
they had this hole where you could throw in your stuff, but you could also open it up and you get your things from them. Like they had a compartment where you just push up the desk, push up the thing.
That.
And then,
but our ones were damned. We couldn't pull it up. I think it was the low budget of Endamus because I'm sure the tender was given to some motherfucker who didn't follow the stereotype.
You couldn't open and have some compartment. They were supposed
No, we had a compartment, but we couldn't lift the whole thing. So we can slide at the bottom.
Or you could slide
but
your hands.
We couldn't.
No, ours we could lift. We could lift.
But I think there was a few in other schools, but most of my primary school and high school, it was very rare. The moment when you find the one where there's a compartment, you'll be like, hey, I'm steering. We had like a random, very low budget version of this desk. What are we calling them?
We should call them a bench desk.
Bench desk.
That's your invention.
Can you help us find a name?
Yeah, I'm sure there is a name somewhere here, but then it's okay.
And then memory?
It was lower primary school. A lot of bullying going on there.
Yeah.
And whipping. You know, you used to get whipped. We used to get whipped.
Corporal punishment.
It was called corporal punishment. You get whipped for making noise.
Military.
You get whipped for standing without asking for permission to stand. You get whipped for going to the bathroom when the teacher is not in class, for not asking for permission. Now the teacher is not there. You know you've gone out to the bathroom because you were pressed, but the teacher is not there. And
what should you pee in your pants?
The staff room is very far. That's why that's just around
you might as well, you might probably pee yourself going to the staff room to ask for permission to go pee next door.
You're gonna get whipped for peeing if you are going to the staff room.
Fuck! Already you're fucked either way.
Do you know what I think? What I think is that our teachers back then, because it's very obvious. I mean, it's given the condition of our country and where we were at the time, there was a lot of depression, especially for black people.
Yes,
you know, so our teachers were very stressed. Now the frustration would come out.
Oh, and they take it out on us.
They would take it out on us. Because man, the whipping would just happen. There was some random whipping that would just go on. And if unfortunately you come from a family of parents that believe in whipping as a form of discipline, then unfortunately you'd be getting the whip from school all the way to Bodladling.
No, actually you're right.
For some more whipping. I know of like neighbors of ours were in Alex, who we knew that if a day goes without the kid, which is a friend, without them getting a whip, then it will be a great day. It will be Christmas.
So that will be a random occurrence, basically.
Yeah. So anyways, like I'm saying, this desk that we're talking about, the one that is on the screen right now, it gives me these memories. They're close because they actually get me to remember back. There are a lot of nice things also.
Sometimes, yeah.
Because I mean, hey, you get to be independent. The walk to school.
One man.
Yeah, and of course with
others.
With the fellow peers there. We'd be walking to school, but it will just be us with the walk. We could talk about anything we want to talk about. That freedom, the newly found freedom. When you're a kid, man, you're always at home. You're being safeguarded, and now you've got this freedom of just walking a mile and a half. Oh, a mile and a half, by the way, in kilometers is not a kilometer and a half.
Why the fuck are you using a mile?
Let us not make this mistake of deciding to think that a mile and a kilometer.
You went to a white school, you. Why are you using a fucking mile on this thing?
Go to a white school.
Kilometer, please. Actually, once you're talking about
that, would be around 3 kilometers.
I think it's a mile
and a half would be around 3 kilometers, because a mile is a kilometer and a half.
Also, it's times 2. No, I think it's 1.4.
It will be
1.4 kilometers is a mile. I think, or 1.6, somewhere there.
Yeah, well,
but if it's 2, then it's.
So you have to now start to think.
Oh my God, mathematics.
There we go. So if you take half of half.
I don't want us to go there. You can do them calculations.
Half of full is half. So half of a mile would be half a mile.
Yeah, but now you're gonna do the cosec sign and the calculate. With the mile. When I bring it, it's antique now. There was no calculations back then that heavily. But before you go on, you just gave me a brainwave, or not even a brainwave, it's the same memory. You gave me an antique of Back to the Future, which resonates with the desk. We call it what? Bench desk?
Yeah. We called it a bench desk, an invention. An invention.
Okay, well, we just made a new word. But now there's a guy. He was so scared to be beaten by the teacher to an extent where he had to even break his English a little bit, or without even knowing what he's saying. This was the story. He went to the thing.
To the teacher.
Yeah. He went. The teacher was there. Remember we just spoke about the distance of classroom and getting permission? He went to the teacher. The teacher will sometimes sit in the classroom, maybe marking tests or whatever. Oh, do you know what that guy said?
Yeah.
The words we were taught in English at that time was that, may I please go outside, to ask for permission to go to the toilet. Our toilet was far, Chief. Our toilet was probably 300 meters from the class. And then, you know what that guy said? He went to the teacher and he said, hey, teacher. And she's like, huh? He's like, please go outside. And she went outside. That guy grew up to be told or to be mocked by his statement. We ended up calling him Go Outside. That was his nickname. Because instead of saying, can I please go outside? He said, teacher, go outside. And the teacher went outside and laughed with other teachers. Hey, this English we're teaching these kids, now we're being told to go outside.
So then he ended up getting mocked and we called going outside.
Even today, if he comes in and say, hey, please go outside or go outside, he'll be like, you're starting.
That's not nice, man. That's not nice. You see, this is the situation now with English. As right now, we use English as our mode of communication because
majority of the world.
Because unfortunately, well,
I don't know, and French as well.
Yeah, but you need to remember that English, by the way, it is not a language that was authentic.
That's project.
It's not an authentic language.
What do you mean it's not authentic?
What I mean is that it was a mixture of languages that ended up creating this language that we call English. And it was mostly used by the traders. Some were from Spain, the Greeks, the Germans. Yeah, they needed to find a way of communicating.
How old is it? Let's look it up. How old is English?
Let's look it up.
Because I'm sure what Jesus were not using English.
I'm going to tell you something about it as well. It was a tsotsitaal of the time.
Ah, you're judging me.
I'm not judging you. It was a tsotsitaal of the time.
Like Fanakalo.
It was Fanakalo. It was a tsotsitaal. The smart guys amongst the markets, the ports.
Wow.
The ports, the guys that were trading and doing stuff, they needed to speak this language. So when you spoke this language, you see what's happening right now.
So I told him that we are running NippyCast Back to the Future with tsotsitaal.
With tsotsitaal.
Of English.
Man, we are running.
Prove it.
We are running the whole world. This new world order that's coming, that's slowly approaching. It's actually here. The corporate, private sector, the whole thing, government
4IR
is being run by
people. Do you believe in the new world order?
People that speak proper tsotsitaal.
Eloquence. And you know, in the black society, when you speak good English, you're perceived to be smart.
Yeah.
But you could be a dumb guy who just speaks well.
I almost made an example about some guy who became a glorified politician and ended up becoming a leader of a particular organization.
And then do you want to give us a name?
I know, I'm not giving out names.
Okay, check. How old is English?
Young email and it's very heavy. Yeah, email.
Okay. I think I know who it is.
So when you speak good English, do not really for a second think that
you're smart.
So what are we saying?
How old is English? Because you're trying to prove to us that it's
old is the English language.
It was like a Fanakalo back then.
The English language.
There we go. There we go. The first one.
I promise you, a mixture.
Shit, that's old. English is one
after. Like if it's 1,400 years.
Because let's see.
1,400. You see, look. West Germany, Anglo-Saxon settlers,
the British.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's check how it is.
Yeah, right now we're just going through the details.
When was the English language created? Thank you. This is the one we want. Yeah. This is the one we want.
Was it created or it created itself? Like how does this thing start?
It's a West German language. English is a West German language that originated from Anglo-Frisian dialect.
Also, it's a dialect.
Brought to Britain in the mid-5th and 7th century by Anglo-Saxon migrants from what is now northwest Germany, southern Denmark, and Netherlands. These people do not speak anything close to English. So this is how the whole thing happened.
So they probably still speak the original prior English, right? But
this is why they'll say stolen from. Stolen from. Yeah, they always say.
Somebody always took it from somewhere.
Stolen from the Greeks. Stolen from the what? Yeah. So hey.
How many years is 7th century is what? I think it's like 1,300 years ago. I think, right? That's 7th century, right? The year 700. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Let's just say
because we're in the year 2021, so this would be the year probably. This would be. I mean, the year 700 would be 14. What is my mathematics running right?
There's short English of that. The origins of English language lie surprised in today's England, and it's surprising that it's lying there. Their language, known as Old English, was soon adopted as the common language for this relatives. But we need to know. I want you to understand how this thing happened. So when
I think I'm okay with the 7th century.
But I'm sure you hear a lot of a weight borrowed from, a weight borrowed from, a weight borrowed from. You know,
like in Chivenda, sugar, shugiri, we borrowed it from them. Like window, window would be faster. Faster, we took it from the Africans. And then we say faster. But we kept boring as well.
So English as it came. The Germans don't speak anything close to English at all.
And they are the ancestors of English.
They brought this language, but that language then got populated. Then they had to work around populating the language into something that everybody could understand. When they were trading,
you need to communicate.
They needed some sort of common language that they could communicate in, which then brought birth to this language that we call English.
No, I see.
And that's why we got Latin. Latin borrowed from a Latin word, borrowed from this, borrowed from the Greek word, borrowed from you know what I mean? Okay. In a little Italian.
No. I'm about to agree with you.
Fanakalo,
like Fanakalo, can I explain Fanakalo without Googling?
Like pigeon, for instance. The pigeon that the Africans are speaking right now.
Which will usually be the Nigerians.
Alpha now. Ade. Ade.
He told me go away, me go say what? Okay, well, but what I wanted us to go to now, well, we just abused this whole language thing from the desks, and then the guy at the school who wanted to tell the teacher to go outside. So let's go back to our antique pictures, and then play that whole thing. Then only stop it at the part where you feel like you've got memory for it, right? Okay, it's a 4-minute thing. We'll be showing it there as we're broadcasting it.
Let's do it.
Only stop it when it resonates with you and pause.
No, of course.
Okay, that one I know it. We spoke about that one. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. I want you.
Only the one that is. This is just white people. What's that?
This is called a
Back to the Future of this.
It's called a vocoder. I think it's called a vocoder. Oh, when I see it, because now we had this at home. It reminds me of my mother. I think it's called a vocoder.
I think there's another commercial name. It's not coming to mind now. I'll tell you. You call it a vocoder, but
I think
if you mean this thing, we have a name in Venda. It's like a porompita. This thing, it's like a blowing thing.
I think it's called a vocoder.
Is it?
The Western movies, a lot of Western movies that I watched as a young man, had guys that would just rock this thing out of the blue as they're riding their horses.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood. This was what's the name of the thing? Is this guy's?
Remember that Clint Eastwood movie?
Yeah.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yes, they were playing this thing. That's my memory for it. Cool. I'll get the actual name in my head. It's not coming to mind now.
The one that you remember, yeah. But it's for me. I remember it. I think as a vocoder. I hope I'm right. I remember my brother taught me how to rock that the first part. Yanko Sisigele. Yo, I was a superstar.
Hey.
Then I'll call my friends. Okay, yeah.
That was so awesome. Because I can also play those notes.
But music had always had.
Was in your DNA.
I've always had music in my blood.
Because I can also play those notes.
I had music in my blood. My blood had music in it.
Or music had you in itself.
Music had me in.
I just took it deeper. Because I can play those notes as well. Should I give them to you? It's do, ti, do, re, mi, re, do. Yeah. Right? I can play those. Like and those are the only things I can play as a DJ. Useless motherfucking DJ. Right? Okay, let's move on.
Hey. Yeah.
Oh, we're starting from the beginning.
No, we're moving on. We're moving on. As we are moving on, this cold day. Talking about coders. Like what you used to do.
I'm gonna find it.
And what you used to do during those days.
Okay, yeah. After this. Let's have that.
I'm sure
This one, I think it was in the previous Back to the Future.
I'm sure you also have a memory, the story of this.
Aaron, you want to start?
I think you should start.
Fuck. Look, all I remember is my dad showing me how it works, right? I think it was late 80s and early 90s. So he'll usually just come back with these LPs, which we call vinyl, the previous discussion we had the other day.
Yeah.
So now, the only biggest problem I had with this shit is to go back and flip it. But then now I loved music so much that I had to literally just wake up and go flip it. So you'll probably just go have a few beers, sit outside and say, hey, Remburu-san, like flip the thing. Yeah, you know. So for me, my memory for this is me and my dad on a Tempest. It was not even a turntable, a record player. Which it has a cassette, and I think it's part of this storyline.
It has a cassette.
Yes,
it has a cassette. So it was a 3-in-1, a cassette, an FM.
We can play FM and MW, which is medium wave, I think. So it's what a cassette was stereo. What was? No, sorry, stereo is what FM. Yeah. So there was FM. Medium wave sitting with the FM.
Medium wave and FM.
Which is MW. No, I don't know.
Those are waves. No, those are things that are happening here.
And I'm sure they've got extra waves.
It's audio waves, yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, you guys, I mean, the people are launching 5G as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's part of similar waves, right?
And I remember our medium wave was very, very weak.
Yeah, because our medium wave doesn't work well with us this side in the southern hemisphere.
Our medium wave was supposed to pick up stations that are not ours. Remember, and you need to remember the state that we're in at the time,
like apartheid,
where we're going to be allowed to be able to catch medium wave and get to hear what the guys in Mozambique are thinking, what the guys in Swaziland, what the guys maybe even further on are blending.
Oh, so they could cut the signal like that.
I believed it was a sabotage, to push a propaganda mission.
Okay.
But then let's continue.
Well, maybe this is another topic for Back to the Future of politics. We can do that in the future. So for me, my memory only
a lot of things that we can talk about Back in the Future.
Yeah, Back in the Future is the shit.
I promise you, this NippyCast is going to be back to the future.
For real. So now the cassette. It was there, medium wave FM, it was there, and then that at the top, which we usually when you open the thing with a needle, and that was my first experience with an LP and everything. I mean, I remember my dad would buy Brenda Fassie for 30 rands. I'd be like, "Fuck, how the hell? What is 30 rands today of 1991?"
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, so this thing is important.
And let's stop making calculations, because we all know that your mathematics might be off. You might say, we must calculate it by 100. And then the next thing now.
Cool. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Before we move on, let's go to your memory.
My memory is
back to your future.
My mother. All the memories I have, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. It's always been about me, my mother, and my brothers. So yeah, my mother had an LP player. Her one was that one, which was just an LP player with a speaker. Yeah, of course, I need to be close with the speaker. And I knew that every time that thing opens up, two things are going to happen. We're either going to listen to Dolly Parton, or we're going to listen to the Kings. Yeah.
Okay, we can't play the song now because they will block it. Boarding.
Woman. Yeah, that song.
Yeah.
My mistakes are not worse than yours, just because. That was a that song, that Dolly Parton song. It's either Dolly Parton albums or the King Messengers Quartet. That's the Seventh-day Adventist quartet.
Well, it sounds like Jehovah's Witness on steroids.
Church. Our church.
Yeah.
There was a lot.
Give us a song. I don't know that
There's one. There's a song. No.
I didn't know it. It was only playing in Alexander. Me, I was in Venda.
No, you never went to the church that I went to.
Wait, is this the hymn song?
It's a hymn song.
Is it?
Yeah, well, not really a hymn song, but it's a song that we sell. So it was the King Messengers quartets, the Heritage. Now you would not know this. These are church LPs. We still have
but
them.
we've got hymns at our church.
We still have them at home, And as a result, I went and I downloaded the whole King's Messengers quartet albums that I could manage to get online.
Okay.
I want to do this to surprise my mother because now, unfortunately, she can't play them. I do have my turntables, so whenever she's around, I would get her to play the songs. Yeah. Now
that would be awesome,
digitized them, so for her it will be a big thing.
That would be fucking awesome.
Anyways, that's what I remember about them. They take me back to those days, And then, anyways, as we move on,
that would be very nice if you do it.
Yeah, no, for her, I'd move a mountain.
Also, this software makes us start from the beginning all the time.
We're moving it forward. Okay, wait. Yeah, no. That's one is with you as well.
Okay, so the problem is the sequence of events now. We want his pictures to be the same as because we see a lot here.
No, there's a lot. There's a whole lot.
Go back to what minute is this?
I think we're good now here. Oh, no, we're not. Yeah.
So we still have this podcast is only for 30 minutes, man.
Supposed to be 30 minutes. I don't think it's gonna be 30 minutes. I think we're gonna have volumes and chapters.
Go back. Oh yeah, no, it's fine, no problem.
We need to check.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
We need to check. Remember, we've got 10.
Oh, yeah, we were there, and then same thing, right?
Oh, we can't let that one
Stop
go.
it right there.
We can't let this one go. We can't let this one go.
Yeah.
I'll keep on doing this.
You remember for it? So you start, because I did the first one. Yeah.
All I remember was that we never had a TV set at our house. And I grew up in Alex Mosne. Stupung, like it's a balcony. The 3 doors that were supposed to be maybe the other rooms to this bond house with a veranda would be families, different families. So in our one room. So anyways, I remember for us it was the middle room because we had these 2 rooms facing each other, and the one in the middle. The guys at the middle room, they had most of the stuff. Like for instance, the father, they had a car.
Oh, by the way, this is TV. This is TV that we saw. Antique TV.
Antique, yeah. Then they had a TV. This TV.
What is the same as that one?
This one that when you could
and it ends, and the knob ends.
And there's a little plastic thing that you take if you don't get the frequency right, and then you just start to move it around until you get it right.
Oh, like this one. Check, like this one.
Yeah,
similar mechanism.
No, but you needed to take it out. It doesn't link. And on the channels,
yes.
There's a side on the side, and then you go.
I think on our TV we lost that one. We didn't even know what to use it for.
Anyways, that's
to catch the precision of the frequency, right?
Frequency, yeah. At the most, because we had an area that you needed to also work around. But then also what I remember is that.
How do you know this? It was on the TV.
No, because we used to watch TV. That's where I was going. We used to go and watch TV there in the communal room. Like I was saying, we are like a communal type of environment. In Alex, we grew up like I was saying, I don't know who was saying it too. Right? I think it was on this cast, the previous one, that I could leave the keys, the home keys, with our neighbor, and if our neighbor runs out of millies, to make pap, they'll just open and get this thing and tell us when we get home. When I went in and got your millies.
So it's the same as asking for sugar next door.
Yeah, it's the same as asking for sugar for next door. Ubuntu.
Which is what we are good
humanity,
for.
Yeah, we are very good for Ubuntu. So for us, it was just normal.
But the white people don't know how to. The white people don't know how to do Ubuntu.
I think they do.
They only use it at the court when they want to argue that. Remember when Oscar Pistorius shot his girlfriend?
And
the lawyer said,
I think you're racist. I think you're
okay,
racist.
Let's leave it.
I think you're a racist black person. That the first racist black person I've ever met.
I've not.
But anyways,
I can't even afford to be a racist.
If this TV that you're seeing on your screen right now, I promise you, this TV would make us work for watching these stories. I think. I remember this Mopeme was the bomb. Mopeme.
Should we put Mopeme's pictures?
Yeah, I think we should.
Should I imitate Mopeme for you?
Yes.
That's my favorite.
That's what I'm and right one.
All right.
Lisilo. Rula mo basilong mo tle kwa ke go bitsa.
Can I become Lisilo?
And then
It's like a zombie of the.
Like remember for us, it was easy. From next door, you just there were those kids that would be coming from their homes, but they still have to walk at that. I'm like, I'm scared to walk. What if I bump into? What if I bump into the Silo?
Can I go into the history of this one, the TV? We were privileged enough to have TV, but it was difficult to let the others go. We didn't have street lights at that time. It was very dark, but they would come to our place and watch
TV.
But to go home after Lisilo,
I was those kids. You see those kids that would come to your house. I was one of them, and we'll be told to take off our shoes because now we're gonna dirty the place. No, we're gonna dirty the place.
Oh, you mean in the house?
Yeah, in the house.
Not when you're living.
Then we'll sit down. A group of us.
Some people it was so bad. The house will fill up, and then other people will watch from the windows.
Others would watch from the windows.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that if you think about it, that they had to let us in. But
our Ubuntu allowed us to share the fucking TV.
We are not going to be sitting there and having this privilege and not sharing. We would not be. We would not understand.
It wouldn't even make sense.
It would not make sense at all. It makes sense right now. I can tell you, go and fly a high kite. Why do you want to come into my house and listen to my music? Why do you want to come into my house and tell me you are stranded? You want a place to sleep? I do not know you. Who are you? It allows me, but I promise you, where we grew up, it never allowed us to do such a thing. But anyways,
our moral compass was not even that far stretched out in terms of compromisation.
Yeah.
So should I go into on the TV one?
But I want to just finish it off by saying that we used to labor for this TV, to be honest, because this TV was running on a battery, a car battery, it would run out. And then
you don't want to fuck up the power supply.
And then sometimes they don't give us a proper box, and you have to hold this like this. The next thing, when you come back, your clothes are full of holes because that acid.
The acid eats the clothes.
Price to pay. There's always a price to pay.
So now, for me, now, as we talk more about it, it gives me a lot of flashbacks. My late grandmother, may her soul rest in peace, she passed on in 2003.
Yeah,
so she would call me. Yeah, it rests in peace to her. Yeah, I'm sure she is resting in peace. But I always miss her. But she would call me. Let's say I'm playing soccer that far, like 2 kilometers away. She will send a guy to come call me to go switch on this thing because he couldn't switch it on. To watch Days of Our Lives. Like
Days of Our Lives. I remember Days of Our Lives. Rich and Bolt and them.
And there's no way you're gonna go back. It was around this time of the day. Like, shit, our grandma. And then she's gonna say, okay, now go water the plants. So that's one good memory. So now going to the one where we are communal and in our side in Venda, it was not really very communal like you guys at Alexander, right?
You guys had space.
We had more space, yeah.
So your neighbor would be like a couple of meters. Like,
all our yards are almost a quarter of a hectare each.
So to go
but
to
it's a township more or less where I grew up. Yeah.
I think we are running out of
the sunlight. No, it's fine. We're about to wrap it. So now, another thing that happened would be when these guys come and watch, and we surely see the ruler. There was Michael Knight.
Michael Knight.
Yeah. Yes. There was also a wolf.
Kit, come on.
Wolf. Kit, actually, Chicken Licken is using it now in the adverts.
That
was in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Which is like blowing up now. And I think the reason why the adverts are blowing up
they resonate with us.
We know what that shit is.
There are those that don't understand.
My 2000 don't get it.
Communication is this is the reason why when you communicate, you need to know your targeted audience.
Exactly.
You need to know your targeted audience. These guys targeted us and they call us
proper. They still they've been holding us by the balls for the whole time. I mean, me and you, we don't go more than a week without eating Chicken Licken. Am I lying?
Chicken Licken is so why are we doing this? This guy, this Indian guy, the Chicken Licken, when the originator of it is an Indian guy. From I hope he's not from Phoenix because this Phoenix guy is at some point they were shooting at our people, but we are not taking it there. And I'm saying is that it's just no, but I mean, they were thinking they're protecting themselves, but unfortunately, it just went short right, short left.
It's a different. It's a
different story
different
for
one.
another day.
Because for me, my flashback, it's gonna go back to I said what, Airwolf. I don't know if you.
I don't know.
Airwolf.
I'll even give you the ta-da-da-dum, ta-da-da-dum, ta-da-dum, tan, tan, ta-da-da-da,
Theme song.
ta-da-da-da-da, ta-da-da-dum. That's That's a theme song. I'll even give you like I'm telling you, music resonates with me for everything. Airwolf. Ta-da-da-dum, 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 tan, tan, ta-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da-da. I'm gonna give you Michael Knight. Dum, 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 dum. There's Magnum PI. You know Magnum PI?
Yes, and they redid Magnum PI recently, apparently. So you know all the theme songs. He's such a fucking music guy.
They don't call me Mega Prince for nothing.
Ah, shit. And then let me give you another one. The A-Team.
The A-Team. The A-Team has Pierre Paracas there, always collapsing when he has to fly.
Back to the Future would mean that the A-Team, we're going to have to look where they are. And then maybe that could be another topic. Because... No, you
have to say it this way. I think we should take this thing inside. We should take it inside. We should take this thing inside. This is not the end of it. Let's take it inside.
Oh, okay,
Let's take it inside. We are